Good evening and welcome all of you for this live event, Coffee with Krish. This is our third episode, and I certainly would like to welcome you all, the teachers, the parents, the students, and the well-wishers for this unique live event, Coffee with Krish. We have here with the special guest, Swamiji Maheshwar Chaitanya ji. He is currently the chairman, B.Tech admissions at Amrita Vishwavidyapeetham. He has a total span of 15 years of teaching experience in the computer science domain. He is also the contest director of the world famous Olympics of Competitive Programming, the International Collegiate Programming Contest. He was instrumental in bringing up Amrita to the top all over the globe with a huge participation of students from India. He was given the Asia Distinguished Leadership Award in the year 2018 for his 10 years of splendid service in uplifting the programming community in India. He has addressed over 6,000 students in guiding them with choosing their dream career. Swamiji, it's our pleasure to welcome you here for the next close to 60 minutes, imparting and sharing your knowledge on various aspects of computer science. Before we go on to the true and the real chat, I would like to throw some light on the situation before, and we call the situation as the VUCA world. When I say VUCA world, it is V-U-C-A. I'm sure many of you would have heard, and students who have not heard it. The future, globally and nationally, we find V standing for volatility, U for uncertainty, and C for complexity, and A for ambiguity. The world is leading towards the VUCA world in the near future. And I would like to address this problem, considering the current situation as to where we are heading, Swamiji. Because we children, the students in the school as well as in the colleges, are worried looking at the VUCA world of future. May I now request Swamiji to address the current problem of VUCA world for us to ease our mind and take out our stress altogether. Over to you, Swamiji, on the VUCA world.
Yeah, thank you for the introduction and the question you have posed at this point of time, which is very much relevant. The reason being, we are in a different world as of now. It will be pretty hard for the people as such, in the sense students, parents, teachers, anybody who has been working over maybe past 50-60 years. They're trying to find it, or trying to cope up with the situation with greatest difficulty. See, when you talk about VUCA world, I would say that the children or the future generation who are yet to get exposed to the world, they are pretty fortunate, because of the reason that this is going to be a lifetime experience for them. First thing, it is also a lifetime learning for them. The greatest achievement, or the greatest achievement in life, is adapting to situation. So as you told, volatility, uncertainty,
Complexity.
yeah. So it is all interlinked. all the four are interlinked, and the right way to put it is the current situation we are experiencing is VUCA. So how do you get adapted to it? See, the future generation are expected to be problem solvers. The future generation is expected to be critical thinkers. The future generation, they are expected to work with machines as well as human beings hand with hand, or they have to work together. For example, a medical doctor, a medical doctor who is unable to go near to a patient with COVID kind of infection, he is now assisted by robots. There are robots that does or doing the robotic surgery, which means that with the help of a medical doctor, a robot can do surgery. Which means again, whatever has been in the academics for the biology students, for the English students, for the engineering students, it is changing. We never used to be part of the online classes, but now we have adapted. We never used to be part of online teaching. Now we are adapted. We never used to work from home, but now we are forced to work from home. People were very much fearful about the technology, the digital platform, even the online payments, opening up an email, taking a WhatsApp account, Telegram account, but all of them now have all these, which means technology is part and parcel of the life. So if the current generation is able to experience and adapt to this current situation with peacefulness, with calmness, with positivity, with an attitude to learn as much as possible, to learn new and new things. Let it be online learning, let it be group learning, whatever way it is possible. This current situation to learn, which will be useful. For example, let us say I'm planning to pursue engineering, or I'm planning to pursue mass communication, or I'm planning to pursue agriculture. Now you have everything, all the information at your fingertips. So how you utilize this current VUCA kind of situation only by learning. Let us assume, let us say that current situation will go maybe for a couple of months, but at the same time, we will definitely come out. There is no doubt. Again, I would say the time to be utilized. How you utilize the time, how you utilize this current situation will depend on your attitude. So your attitude has to be more positive. There is no meaning in getting panic. There is no meaning in getting negative to the situation. Fear and worry, everything has to go off. And let us take the opportunity, this VUCA opportunity, to learn as much as possible. So that is my message for this. I think with the complexity of the situation, certainty of the situation, and the way it is moving forward, we all are pretty much clear now. We all are now adapted to the technology. We are adapted to the situation. So that adaptiveness comes automatically. The mind is now trained, but at the same time, what is that we have learned for future? Is it a resilience? Is it to cope with any kind of situation? Or is it some academic stuff we have learned for the future? So my take on this is, don't be panicked, don't be worried, don't be tensed. Rather, use the online platforms, use your mobile device, use your laptop, use your gadgets, whatever you have, to learn as much as possible. There are a lot of online courses, there are a lot of online platforms to learn. Take time to learn, be peaceful, and wait for the opportunity. That is what I have to say.
So thank you, Swamiji, for creating that optimism in our minds. And we are sure with the blessings, we will take over this VUCA world and take it as an opportunity for us to look at our own attitude, as you rightly mentioned, and then create a platform where we can avoid seeing the VUCA world in the future. Thank you so much for a lovely explanation, Swamiji, for this. Now, as your profile mentions about you is that your domain is computer science. And what we would like to know from you is, most of us talk about STEM, S-T-E-M. When I say S for science, T for technology, E for engineering, mathematics is equal to computer science. So is it that the future would be ruled or roasted or roosted, whatever you call it, by the STEM is equal to computer science? Or is there any alternative to be away from computer science and our students can look around for much greener pastures rather than looking only to the computer science engineering? Over to you, Swamiji, for throwing a light onto this STEM is equal to computer science.
See, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, all these domains are coming together. So, which let us take a simple example of disaster warning system, where the information generated by the warning system, disaster warning system, with a lot of data analysis and calculation, which means that even to predict a disaster, you need computer science. So, which means that computer science have started encroaching all the domains. That doesn't mean that there will not be any job for other branches. There is certainly scope for other branches. The opportunities will definitely come. So let us say we get lot of WhatsApp messages.
True.
Which all them are fake, or which all of them are original. So what we do, we have to do some kind of searching in the internet to find out whether they are true or not. Which means that I cannot just write any kind of content and put it in the internet. There is some kind of plagiarism checking. So even if you are a content writer, you have to be aware of technology. Now, we are in a situation where there is a pandemic. At the same time, there are a lot of data analysis going on with regard to COVID-19. So what is happening? Basically, computer science or technology is meeting science. Technology is meeting life. There's a lot of analysis going on different type of patients, testing of medicines based on the demography, which means that even in healthcare, there is computing involved at the moment. So if you go to the COVID analysis chart of each and every country, you will find a graph plotted. There are lot of graphs being plotted to communicate graphically that this is the way in which the health workers are taking up this, or the number of patients, the total number of patients in each locations, the way in which is rising or going down, how many people are able to recover, or how many people recovered from different state, and how it is presented. It is presented in a graphical format, which means that we have the data data is sourced from the healthcare domain and we are presenting it to the layman, a common man can understand just by looking at the graph. So that is the power of technology now. And without mathematics, these kind of things is not at all possible. And without having engineering, so let us say you have a healthcare devices. The healthcare devices monitor the health of the people, health of the patients. Health of the patients is definitely taken care of by the hospital or the device. The data collected from the device is taken by the hospital, and that helps the program, the computer program, to generate effective results or to generate effective graph or effective graphical representation. And that is how we are able to present basic information to the common man. So if you take science, if you take technology, if you take engineering, and finally the mathematics, in the current situation, problems can be solved only with the help. So if you look at the current situation where uh, applications like Arogya Setu. So Arogya Setu, what it does is it find out the people in and around you who are affected with this the infection, and it has to do a lot of computing. For that computing, you need mathematics. To present it, you need an engineer. To present it in a mobile device, you need an engineer. To capture the patient data, you need an engineer. And the data is related with science, life sciences. And with technology, you put all this together and present the layman, where he is able to understand, okay, this many people are infected in and around this area. So going forward, technology will rule. Even if you are a visual media student, even if you are a normal art student, technology will definitely be required for any degree to pursue, where the technology will now onwards, that something called as industry 4.0 or education 4.0, that will be applicable for every graduate student or every teacher, where the entire thing is going to be interdisciplinary. Now we see that robots are being used to serve the food in hotels, to send the medicine to an infected area. So what you need for that? You need technology. You need to have health workers. You need to have an engineer. And when you apply the mathematical formula or mathematics across all these, you will find that it is a possible situation, a context where the application of STEM is important. So we can say that basically robotics used in healthcare or applied in healthcare can be a perfect example for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
So Somaji, thank you so much for a wonderful explanation on STEM is equal to computer science, and as you really have been expressing that the future is going to be STEM is equal to computer science, though there are options for others to look at greener pastures. You also mentioned about robotics, serving medicines. Having said this, I mean, we as a non-techies, we would like to throw some light on some words like artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning. Though it's a technical word, but for a layman's understanding of what is artificial intelligence, what is machine learning, what is deep learning, I think Swami would certainly be able to help us in understanding this better, because we have teachers from non-technical side, we have students who are in the 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th. They might probably know what is artificial intelligence. There are other people. So how do you make us understand the true meaning of artificial intelligence, machine learning and deep learning? Over to you, Swamiji. Let's understand from you for a non-techie learning.
Okay. So these three are the key components of technology as of now. We can see that artificial intelligence is even being introduced by CBSE in their 9th or 8th curriculum as part of the subjects. So artificial intelligence, as the name says, it is basically making the machines more smarter. So how do you make the machines more smarter? Only with the help of data. You see, we all use Gmail. We all use the Google Drive. We may also use currently now we have started using Google Meet. So which means that we are more prone to technology now, or in the sense that we cannot just do away with technology. It is an essential part of the life. So let us take the first example, artificial intelligence. You take the Google search engine, google.com, and you start typing something. Let us say you have first typed best engineering college or best university. Immediately you will see some predictions. It may be best university in India, or best university in Canada, or best university in the US. So that is a prediction. That is called as prediction. So prediction is possible only with the help of AI. So artificial intelligence is something that will make our life more faster. Machine learning is a different part, but also is directly connected with AI. So machine learning is nothing but analyzing a large set of data in different situations. So let us say 100 patients coming for COVID test in one specific location, or 1,000 people coming for COVID test over a period of 1 month. Now, what it does, the healthcare workers or the doctors will do the testing. They will have a lot of parameters about the person, maybe height, weight, length, and those things. Maybe let us say 10 parameters. So you have 10 parameters and 1,000 records. What is it that output you have? You will say that, okay, most of the diseased or most of the people who are infected is in between 55 and 65 age. How you reach the conclusion? That conclusion is possible with the help of machine learning. Let us take another example. We all use emails. And now the biggest threat in cybersecurity is spamming of emails, phishing, putting a link or adding an attachment, and when the user clicks on the attachment, he's taken to a different site where he may lose all the data. And most of the email servers, if you take Outlook or if you take Gmail, there are options for you to mark an email as spam or not report it as not a junk. What does it mean? It means that there is something called as machine learning working with the email server to understand whether this email is a spam or not. It can be based on the from address received. It can be based on some words in the email. It can be based on some attachment. So the machine learning program will run with series of emails. It keeps on running and running and running, and it will analyze the content, saying that, okay, from this person, it may be a spam, or from this address, it may be a spam, or based on this content, it may be a spam. So So when you say that okay, it is not a spam, then machine learning program will understand that okay, this content or email coming with this content is not spam. So machine learning is learning with the data. AI is basically prediction, and AI is also assumptions. As I said earlier, a robot delivering medicine to a specific location. Robot has to understand how it has to move. It has to find out whether there is something in front in the on the way it moves. Whether any object is creating any kind of obstacle. Then he has to it has to take it has to divert the way so that it reaches the destination. So it is understanding the input and giving the output. The best example is Alexa. How Alexa is able to understand your voice, understand the speech. How is it able to retrieve the content from the internet and deliver it? When you come to deep learning is primarily about learning from large data sets, primarily on images. For example, let us say you have an X-ray image of one patient, and that is compared with large number of images of the say of similar type of patient predict something. So, which means that deep learning is going deep into one specific domain. For example, if you say if you give an image as input into the deep learning program, it can say what it is, whether it is a historical monument, or whether it is a hill station, or whether it's a barren land, which means that this image is compared with a large number of data sets. So all these, from the layman point of view, it is possible to understand. If you go to Amazon, if you go to Flipkart, if you go to any kind of any site, any e-commerce site, those e-commerce sites will tell you the best products based on your search, based on the items you have seen. That is something called as machine learning. So all these put together, artificial intelligence, then machine learning and deep learning, these are the key components of the current technology. Let us say a teacher is teaching mathematics for the past 10 years. Same topics are being taught. Same type of questions are being asked. Now what happens is, when you compare, if you want to compare the data of the students from first year to 10th year, it is possible using AI, and it will say that okay, this batch is better, this batch was the best, this batch is good in this specific topic, or these batches are weak in specific topics. So that is why now AI is coming up more and more interesting, more and more kind of productive teaching. Teachers will get insights on set of students. Which student is weak on which topic that AI can do.
Fine. So can we say that machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence,
Yes,
and deep learning is a subset of machine learning?
Yeah.
Now I have a specific question to you, Swamiji, that we have our smartphones. Like when I would have actually typed my house address. And when you keep, next time when I again type, moment I type my house name is Aparajita, moment I say APAR, the Aparajita comes down. I just need to press Aparajita, it goes. Then it comes to a street again. How does, is it machine learning, deep learning, what is it all about?
So what happens is, when you type the content in the keyboard will learn. The keyboard will learn about what you are typing.
So it's machine learning.
Exactly, and if you look at the local language, if you are using a regional language, when you use in Tamil, or when you use Malayalam or any regional language, even then Google can understand. Even then the keyboard can understand. It is something to do with the natural language processing. So all this part of machine learning, all this part of the AI itself,
Correct.
where the user, the mobile phone user will get prediction on which is the next word to be typed, which is the next word that is the probability of the words, or it will say that, okay, these are the words which are most probable to as the next word. So which means that again, when you, I'll link this to the previous question. Mathematics is heavily involved because it has to search for the probability. Which word did you use along with the previous word?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Swami, what is this? Again, it's connected to AI or deep learning, machine learning. You talk about virtual reality and augmented reality. How do I understand the difference between virtual and augmented reality? Is it connected to the artificial intelligence or machine learning or deep learning?
Yeah, it is part of that.
Okay.
See, there are a lot of movies which you have seen recently, like Bahubali. How the person, how the viewer is able to see elephant along with the person, along with the human being, where we know that elephant is virtual. Elephant is not real. That is something called as virtual reality. So you create something. What I what I recently read is that we can even create a virtual human being with the help of AI, and the robot can respond. The robot will behave just like a human being, with all the emotions, with all the kind of reactions. So when you talk about virtual reality, it is all about the AI itself, but presented in a different way. So the program, it is mostly, it is kind of animation. That is what is virtual reality. Augmented reality is something different. Augmented reality, let's just say I have a room and I have the augmented reality application in my tablet or mobile phone. So I switch on the camera and see the room in my camera or in my mobile device. I can place furniture, and those furnitures are available within the app. So which means that without putting actual furniture in a room, I'll be able to design the interior room with just the help of augmented reality. So what the application of augmented reality is directly there in automobile. So for example, a company called Bosch. Bosch is one of the companies who are heavily involved in automotive electronics. So Bosch has a training unit, and they have something called as virtual reality in the mobile device, in the iPad, where they have all the car parts created virtually within the application itself. That is why it is called as augmented reality. And it is possible for me as an engineer, automobile engineer, to train my people without much hassles, even without the real spare parts. So what happens is, suppose if I want to understand where I can have the lift in my building, or I want to place something, a big hoarding or somewhere, I can find out with the help of augmented reality. So augmented reality is basically an application embedded with the camera, or the camera will be taken, or the control of camera is taken by the app, and I just place the camera in the room or somewhere. I can see the room, and I can place the furniture or whatever you need, and look into the design of the room which you are comfortable or not. For example, if you want to rearrange the entire office room, augmented reality will help. So augmented reality will have different pictures which you can just place. And augmented reality is almost there in most of the mobile phones now, where you can have selfie and you look like a rabbit, or with different kind of faces. So which means that it works with the camera.
Is 3D connected to this, like augmented reality?
Yes.
Okay.
It is a maybe it is bigger version of 3D. We can say that.
Oh, wonderful. Swami, like, okay, things are very easy today. You know, those times about 10, 15 or 20 years back, if you were to reach a particular place, you'd ask 10 people, where is the location, where is the location, where is the location? So somebody gives you right, somebody gives you left. Finally, you ultimately land up in a place where you're not supposed to reach.
Yeah.
So this used to be the earlier times. But today, you know, you just put your GPS and it gives you a lot of announcement saying that now turn to the right. On the right side, you'll find Canara Bank. On the left side, you'll find State Bank of India. There's an arch there. Is this GPS also connected to something with your artificial intelligence and machine learning? No.
No, GPS is not directly connected with AI. But if you take the case of Uber or Ola or any sort of taxi service app, there you need GPS plus AI to find out the nearest driver with better reviews, and it has to tell you, okay, this is the type of vehicle available, and to find out the nearest driver available in your location, you need to have AI, or you need to have at least scientific program, the computer program or mobile program to identify based on the location, because location is finally numbers, longitude and latitude. So based on that location, it has to find out.
Swamiji, I want to ask you one more question on artificial intelligence. Like you're talking about the robots.
Yeah.
So far we knew only robots means with 2 hands and 2 legs with the head, and you know I was with the impression that artificial intelligence has to go into the head of the robot. Today, any structure, any form can be a robot, right? It's not that it should look like a human being. It can be a sort of a small little platform. It can be in any shape, or it should be only in the shape of a human being. That you call it as a robot. Or
Yes.
am I making it clear to you, Swamiji, that any object with intelligence, the artificial intelligence, can be called as a robot?
Exactly. Do you want me to show something on that?
You have something with you? Ready-made?
Yes. Let me find out, because see, there are a lot of research going on. The reason why I am saying is even the military, even in the defense sector, robots are being used as soldiers.
Oh.
So which means that it is possible for the robot to face a terrorist or to face another soldier and to shoot with precision. So it is not just using it for delivery of the medicines, delivery of the food, etc. But robotics can be used in any domain, any possible domain.
I mean, what would be the future of this AI, ML, DL, and whatever it is? What's going to be the future for all this? Is it going to be further changes in terms of, you'll call AI will go, ML will go, DL will go? If at all it goes and something new would come in, or this will stay here for next 3 decades or 4 decades, Swamiji? What is your feel on that, take on that particular question?
See, definitely it is highly, what do you say, predictable at this point of time, especially during the pandemic, that AI will definitely rule. Machine learning will rule. AI, machine learning, data science, data analysis, big data, cloud computing, everything will rule, definitely rule, because the moment you say that you are digital or you are online or you are in the internet, which means that there is data. AI, ML, and deep learning or data science, data analytics can work only with the help of data. So when we move, when the whole working community moves to online platform or the internet, the AI and ML will be used to improve the product, improve the service, and come out with more and more products and services. So it is not just it will stay for long, perhaps for several decades.
Oh, that should be the. Swamiji, my next question would be like,
can you see my video desktop now?
Okay. Yeah, we can.
You can see the video, right?
Yes, yes, very much. So this is the robot.
Yeah.
So which means the robot can be in the shape of anything.
Yes. So this is the current scenario.
So yeah, Swamiji, I want to ask you, like, I have read somewhere long back that there was a robot which was called Deep Blue, and he was that particular robot bet the champion in chess games, Kasparov. That was something about 20 years back, and recently about 3 years back, there's one more robot which his name is AlphaGo, which defeated the champion in a game called Go Games. Go Games is not popular in India, and I think they just beaten 4:1. In fact, the AlphaGo robot used to practice with AlphaGo, understanding all the rules of the game, and bet the world champion 4:1. So this is what is happening, which means the robots have grown much more intelligent than the human beings, and this is going to happen in the future. In many cases, that robot will beat the human beings. Under these circumstances, is it possible for AI to outperform human performances and see that there is an end to human beings in the future? There's a fear in all of our mind, if this is what is happening across the world, that AI is taking over the performance of human beings, and it does much more accurate job. In fact, I have read somewhere that the diagnosis by a robot is far more accurate than the diagnosis of a doctor, human doctor. If this is what is going to happen, Swamiji, will they outbeat the human beings in the future? And if they outbeat the human beings in the future, what will our little children do in the future to be present in the world? Over to you, Swamiji, on this. Your outlook and your thoughts on this particular clarification, please.
So you have asked me a complicated question. There are a couple of,
maybe for me to answer, but for Swamiji it would be a left-hand job for you, Swamiji. Go ahead.
Okay. On the first hand, when you say that, or when you ask me whether robots or the technology will rule the human beings, I would say yes.
It will.
It will rule, but at the same time, human beings will also be skilled enough to control the machines. So let us go back to 2010 or before 2010, where you had we just had WhatsApp kind of messages. It flourished like anything, and maybe by 2015 or 16, WhatsApp was one of the major messaging platforms, and we used to forward images and videos and text and everything just like anything. And even now, how do you understand whether a news is fake or not? We never used to know, and people used to believe whatever was forwarded. And I remember there was even a hartal declared by political party just with the help of WhatsApp, and it had become an incident in Kerala. Now it is possible for the police to find out the source of the message. So what I'm trying to say is, we never had cyber laws in place maybe 5 to 6 years back, but now there are cyber laws. Similarly, when the robots are on place, or when the robots are there in part of our life, our system, there has to be laws, there has to be rules and regulations to control the robot, build the robot, and decide what robots will do, because robots cannot definitely not behave, or robots cannot respond to any query by itself. It needs to be programmed. Without programming, robots will never react. So which means that when you take a mobile phone will respond based on its settings. If you switch off the mobile phone, there's nothing. So which means that with the hardware, you need a software. So with the robot, we can call it as robot only if there is an intelligent software. Otherwise, it's just metal body, nothing else. So there is unless otherwise you program it for the destruction of the humanity, it will not rule. And you were asking about the a doctor or a surgeon compared with robotic surgeon. It is true that robots can be accurate, can be precise, but at the same time, robots will not be able to think from humane point of view. So we all are part of a society, and a decision taken by the doctor will not be just based on what the data says. It has to be based on some humanitarian considerations. So that will be lacking. So you cannot say that a doctor can be replaced by a machine. You cannot say that a teacher can be replaced with a machine. It is not possible.
Swami, which means, if at all somebody has to go for a critical operation, maybe a brain surgery, and there is a robotic doctor, there is a human doctor, who should the patient choose?
That will depend on a lot of factors.
Okay.
I would definitely say that he has to go to the human doctor itself. There is no doubt about that. But of course, the human doctor may seek support or get support to get some information, to get some idea, analysis from a robotic device.
Absolutely. Swamiji, I think one more question which I'd like to ask you is regarding the artificial intelligence. And we have now introduced computer science, artificial intelligence, engineering across different campuses. And different campuses, we have it in Chennai, we have it in Etimade, we have it in Amadapuri, we have it in Bangalore. And after hearing you, or even before hearing you, that many of those students are behind this computer science and artificial intelligence, actually not knowing what is all about. It's like, a herd of duck, the first duck goes to this direction, so all of them chase the other duck in the front. So is that right way of looking at choosing the stream? Because in most of the cases, like in the last 3-4 years, if you look at the seats getting filled up, you see the computer science engineering, it gets filled up first, and then later on you have all other streams getting filled up. What is your suggestion? Because this is being attended by close to about 150 to 200 students who are opting to take engineering. What is your suggestion? What is your advice to little children when all of them run for artificial intelligence engineering or computer science engineering? Is what they're doing right, or is what they're doing wrong? Over to you, Swamiji, your personal advice to our children who are rushing towards CSC stock artificial intelligence. Over to you, Swamiji.
So if you ask me directly, I will say that it is wrong.
Wrong.
Why? The reason.
Why so, Swamiji? Why do people think that the people with artificial intelligence engineering or computer science will get a better placement compared to mechanical or civil or EEE or ECE? Is that right? You think only computer science engineering and artificial intelligence placed? It's not correct, right?
It is definitely not correct.
Okay.
It is. I will say that it is completely wrong. The reason is very simple. I know that maybe way back in 2011 and 12, when I used to teach programming and Unix operating system, that time people thought that computer science is nothing, and people were behind mechanical engineering and electronics and communication. But now the scenario has changed. That doesn't mean that computer science is the only way of only option. No, definitely not. If you are passionate about computer science, or if you want to do some kind of innovation in computer science, you will have to have some sort of a domain. Let us say you are taking AI, computer science and AI. So where will you work? Will you work in a software industry or will you work in a different industry? By different industry, what I meant is, let us take automobile industry, or let us take an e-commerce industry, or let us take a supply chain industry, or let us take manufacturing industry. You need to have the domain knowledge of the industry which you are working. So what does it mean? It means that any branch you take, those branches are not at all confined to their own domain. Rather, it is now interdisciplinary. Why I am saying this? If the students who are pursuing or who wants to pursue AI at Amrita, they will find that they have to study biology for 2 semesters. Why it is so? Because suppose if they are moving to a life science domain, let us say drug discovery domain, or predicting the drug, formulation of chemical solutions, they have to have biology at hand. Definitely, they have to have strong foundation on biology. Let us say they are moving to robotics, because AI finally is applied in devices called as Alexa or any kind of boards or robots. They need to understand how the robot is manufactured or how it functions. So, which means that it is not just computer science students that will get placements, but also certainly 100% sure that other students will also get, or there is scope. But skill is very important. If you take the news maybe 1 year back, you will find that, or you will find the news saying that 77% of the engineers passing out, they are not employable. Why? Because they don't have skills. Now, if you see the maximum number of advertisements in coming up in TV channels is about the sanitizer. So you need some chemical engineer or somebody expert in chemistry to produce efficient, cost-effective sanitizers, cost-effective disinfection mechanisms. And let us say you need to give or you need to spray it across. Now I saw the video. Drones are spraying the disinfection solution across the place, across the location. So all these when put together, it is a kind of interdisciplinary domain. You go back to STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So it is not just for computer science students. The jobs are available. It's for all students. So for example, let us say now what will happen? We have to have a lot of healthcare devices, isn't it?
Yes,
because we
true.
are lacking the PPE kind of kits currently in the healthcare industry. So you have to have a lot of ventilators. You have to have a lot of masks. How you design a mask? Mask can be designed with the help of 3D printers. A mechanical engineer can easily do that. Finding out the right material, making it kind of comfortable for the person to wear the mask. So all this put together, it is not just the computer scientist, but also a mechanical engineer. And you have this mobile device now. This mobile device, you need internet connectivity. You need to have you suppose you want to transfer some files from the mobile device to the cloud to your G drive, Gmail. You need communication systems.
Absolutely.
Now that 5G is coming up, then how can you say that it is only for computer science students? Definitely not. It is there for the electrical engineering student. It is there for mechanical engineering student. It is there for communication engineering student, civil engineering student, even chemical engineering student. And if you take aerospace, you see that SpaceX, owned by Elon Musk, he is just going like a rocket. There are a lot of innovations going on in the space sector. Now that Indian government is opening up the space sector for the private players also, then which means that there is going to be huge opportunity. Don't take the current situation; it will definitely change.
Samaji, thank you so much. And the final question before I wind up, we are just about 5 minutes to 5 p.m. How important is programming? Since you're a veteran in programming, you've done a wonderful job in making our students from our country participate in that particular competition, which I mentioned before we started this live show. My question to you is, how important is programming towards artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning? And if you can be a good engineer in artificial intelligence and ML and DL, if you're good at programming, is there any connectivity between programming and all three of those ML, DL, and AI, Swamiji?
Programming is changing now. It is taking a different dimension altogether. Now there is something called as low code, LC, low code, or NC, no code.
Low code and no code.
No code and low code. Very less coding and no coding at all.
Absolutely, okay. Low coding and no coding. Okay.
So let us take the case of Amazon. Amazon is a giant in cloud. Amazon is a giant in e-commerce. Suppose if you want to have something in Amazon, you have lakhs of data in Amazon. Amazon has tools. Amazon has tools even you can use. Even you can use to generate reports. It is just dragging and dropping. So you pull down whatever data is required, click on the button, you get the report. So which means that slowly we will see that all this machine learning, deep learning, AI, data science, data analytics, they all will have built-in libraries.
Okay.
There will be built-in code. It is just to pull the code into your program. So what happens is whatever was required or whatever you could implement in 100 lines of coding, it is now it will go down to 10 or 20 lines of code, which means the rest is already available. And the most important or the most relevant or the most known library is something called as MATLAB, MATLAB, MATLAB. So MATLAB has a lot of libraries. Google has got TensorFlow library, TensorFlow. It is just to use those TensorFlow libraries in your code. And if you see the recent programming language, change in the programming language is Python. Now R is coming up. So it will keep changing. Earlier it was C++. So what happens is a programmer will have a minimum load, the job will be minimized, and it ensures that the accuracy, whatever data is generated, whatever report is generated, it is accurate. So which means that a programmer cannot make a mistake because that mistake will be caught by the library. So from the programming point of view, as the time goes, we can see that the number of programmers requirement or the people who are into programming, it may come down to a small extent because of the board kind of programs that will eventually generate code.
Samaji, I have a question from one Mr. Ashish Yenepuri. He is asking, sir, what is your opinion about linking AI with nanotechnology? What is your opinion, Swamiji, about linking AI with nanotechnology?
It is a very good question. It is a very good question.
Thank you, Ashish, for this lovely question. Yeah.
So, see, basically, AI can work only with data. So, nanotechnology, we can say that that is the source of the data. You have a nano device which can generate data, and you plug it with AI, it will give you better results. But at the same time, it depends on the domain where you are trying to apply this nanotechnology. But the combination is really good. You can bring that is what I'm saying. Basically, artificial intelligence and machine learning or deep learning, you can take into any sort of domains. For example, you take a simple example of Facebook post. Facebook posting. If I keep posting on one specific domain or one specific subject, every day I write post. So which means that intelligent Facebook program, the program which has the machine learning, it will understand the post and it will show you the ads, advertisements based on those posts.
Samaji, in Facebook, since you brought out Facebook, when you open the Facebook in a photograph, the Facebook identifies the particular person. Like it identifies me, it puts a square on my face and say, "Hey, this is Methil Krish." What is it? It's deep learning, machine learning, or
that is a kind of deep learning and machine learning.
Okay, so I think we have understood well. And the final question, we all have a sort of a worry, Swamiji. What's our worry? Should we be strong? We need to be strong to be an engineer, no doubt about it, in mathematics. But the doubts with our students, should we be really doubly strong to be successful as a computer science or artificial intelligence engineer? Is mathematics play a very important, a vital role to shape you up of one of the best computer science engineer? Is it required or a mediocre will do? Or I don't know. I leave it to you.
No. Mathematics is very important. See, that is why most of the engineering students fail to earn the skills.
Okay.
See, suppose if you have a menu of food items in front of you, and you decide on what to choose when. It is exactly the same thing when it comes to academics. See, you have something called as Google Sheets. You have something called as Microsoft Excel. You have something called as open source, spreadsheet software. But which one will you use? Will you use PowerPoint slide or Google Slides? It depends on you.
Okay.
So which means that even if there are a lot of solutions available, what is it that you will use will depend on your requirement. And you ask whether you have to be strong enough in mathematics. 100% it is. Every engineer has to be very strong with foundation of mathematics. Probability will play a critical role. Algebra will play a critical role. So mathematics, you cannot just keep away mathematics from engineering for the future generation. So that is why I said critical thinking and problem solving is going to be very, very important for the future engineers.
So one must be really brilliant in mathematics to be to be engineer. And there's one more question which I thought I will. Sahana, BK Sahana has asked a question to you, Swamiji. So can you please brief us about AI in the field of medicine? A brief note as to what important role AI plays in the field of medicine.
Okay, see let us take the current situation where the government of India says that they are ready with the vaccine, or they may be ready with the vaccine by around 15th of August. So let us say what is it that they are planning to do, or what is it they have to do? Any drug to be released. So when I'm talking specifically about the medicine, I understand that it may be about the drug discovery. So what is to be done? They have to test a lot. So which means that, let us say, they are testing with 10,000 of patients. They have the data of 10,000 of patients. So what will happen? With this set of data, you will have a lot of parameters, whether it is, what is the age of the patient, what is the gender of the patient, what all are the other issues faced by the patient, like, if he is having diabetes, if he is having blood pressure, or if he is having something else. So all these are the parameters they will take from the patient. And once the entire testing is done across thousands and thousands of patients, you apply AI. After applying AI, the program will be able to predict. The program can definitely predict on whether this testing is successful or not, or what is the outcome of the testing.
Yeah, thank you so much, Swamiji. My final question to you is about a personal question, though it is open to all. I'm just about 62 years young. Will I be able to learn about artificial intelligence? So is the age a bar? I'm not brilliant in mathematics. I mean, let me also be very honest. But still,
Yes, you mean 62 years younger.
62 years young. Swamiji, will I be able to catch on to those bright words like AI, machine learning, deep learning? I hope I should be able to do it, right, Swamiji? There is no age bar. Anyone can learn it.
Anyone can learn. Anyone should be able to learn. See, because the reason is that technology is made by the man, and technology is made by man, and technology has to be in hands of man at any point of time. It has to be under the control of the human beings. See, you asked the right question at the right moment. What I wanted to say is basically I'm a commerce graduate. I switched from commerce graduation to computer science.
I think Swamiji really needs an applause.
Which means that you have to keep your mind open. Whether you are a mechanical engineer, whether you are an electrical engineer or electronics engineer, your mind has to be open to any domain where you can learn. Just like the situation what you asked me in the beginning, volatility, uncertainty,
complexity and ambiguity.
Exactly. So if you want to face such situation, your mind has to be open. And if your mind is open, you can learn any technology, anything at any age.
So children, there's nothing to worry about, and I'm sure that you would have heard from Swamiji that he's got a commerce background. He is a Bachelor of Commerce, and now he's been able to let us know about so many technological terms, and he has made all of us understand. And in fact, I've become a little more stouter than what I was before I started moderating this live. So thank you so very much, Swamiji, for sharing your knowledge on artificial intelligence, machine learning and deep learning. And we are sure this has totally benefited lots and lots of our viewers who have been with us for the last almost 65 minutes. So it is Methil Krish signing off from Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham, Etimade, the headquarters, Coimbatore. Till we meet again, God bless you all. Stay safe, stay secured. Jai Hind.